So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have another phenomenal show lined up for you tonight because of our guest, Maurine Xavier, who is coming on very, very soon. She's actually literally in the green room right now and scratching at the screen saying, let me in, and I will very, very soon. She's an amazing young woman, full of energy and great experience, and she has a great mission, and I can't wait for you to hear what that is and to see how she might be able to help you. And I know she will be able to help you because I've been doing this show for quite some time, and every single one of these successful entrepreneurs that I interview always brings some incredible advice and tips, things you can put into action right away to elevate your business immediately. So you don't want to miss a moment of this show, especially when she comes on, because that is when the real juice is going to be poured upon you. It's going to be amazing. The Mind, Body, Business Show. It is a show that I had developed with you in mind. And I mean by you, the entrepreneur, the business person, someone who is looking to take their business to that next level, maybe even your personal life, because personal life and business are very, very similar in that in business, one must build relationships. It's all about relationships, business and life. And so what I found are there are three main pillars to success after studying only successful people for about a decade or so. And this included mentors, like personal mentor of mine, other mentors, authors of books, prominent influencers, speakers, some that are living and still with us, others that have long since passed. I've studied a lot of different individuals, and what I found were these three things kept bubbling to the top. I wanted to find out what perhaps would make them more successful than, say, me. And what I found was they all had these three pillars, and they are the very title of this show. Mind being mindset. And what does that mean? It means that each of these successful individuals had very powerful, positive, and most importantly, flexible mindsets. And body literally is about one's body. Body means that these successful people also took care of themselves, both physically through exercise and nutritionally through what they ingest. And then business is multifaceted. And what is that all about? Well, what I found is these very successful individuals had mastered the skill sets that are necessary to build a successful business and to scale it and become even more successful over and over and over again. There are many skill sets that one must master. There are skill sets like marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on and on and on. And the good news is you as an individual, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to master all those skill sets and there's so many more to go. How will I ever do that? I don't have time for that. Well, there's good news. You don't have to. In fact, if you just mastered one of them, and it is one of them I verbally just said out loud, if you just master that one skill set, the others can just fall into place much more easily and seamlessly, and you yourself don't have to master every skill set. I wonder which one that could be. Anyone want to know? Anyone at all? Okay, I won't tease. It is the skill set of leadership. Once you have mastered that skill set, now you can then bring in and manage those individuals who have already mastered those skill sets that you may not ever master, or it may take you some time to. And the good news is this is what is all about. It's all about modeling success. It's all about leveraging to become successful. If one person tries to do everything themselves, which I'm a card-carrying member of attempting to do that, and I think every entrepreneur at some point is, but if you continue to do that, then you're destined, I'm not going to say for failure, but for disappointment. It's going to take you much, much, much longer to achieve that level of success that you desire. And I will say that you deserve. So the Mind Body Business Show. I cannot wait because Maurine Xavier is coming on real quick. Just like Maurine Xavier, very successful entrepreneurs, I found to a person are also very avid readers of books. And with that, I want to quickly segue into a little segment I affectionately call bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
And I promise Maurine Xavier is on in a moment. She's coming on any second. And yes, she's there. Smile. I can see her. I love it. So reachyourpeaklibrary.com. So one quick word of advice before we move on. For those of you watching or listening on podcast after the live broadcast is over, and by the way, if you're not watching live, you should be. Go to themindbodybusinessshow.com. I said it slow on purpose, themindbodybusinessshow.com. And you can register to receive nothing more than alerts when we go live each and every week. That's it. We don't sell anything. We don't pitch anything. It's just telling you we're live and here's the link. Make it easy for you because I love interaction. I love for folks who come on to ask questions, to make comments, and we'll put your name on the screen if you desire. And so reachyourpeaklibrary.com is a perfect example of something that instead of going and clicking away and looking at it on another tab on your browser while the show is going live, rather than do that, I implore upon you to instead write it down. Good old fashioned, write it down with a pen and paper or your notepad on your computer or tablet. Just write it down and keep your gaze and your attention on Maurine. Because here's the deal. I have spoken from stage many times. I personally know when I'm bringing up the good stuff. I call it the juice, the sauce, whatever. I know when it's coming. And at that moment, right before it comes up, on occasion, I would see someone get out of their chair and walk out of the room. They have that all-important text or phone call, or they have to go to the restroom. And so I learned quickly to let them know, look, you want to go to the bathroom before you come into the next session right away. Don't drink a bunch of water until you know it's near the end of the session. They're 90 minutes usually, and all those. And turn off your phone, because I would hate for you to miss that one golden nugget that Maurine has for you tonight. And she probably has far more than one because you took your focus away. So write these things down. Write them down. Do not visit them yet. Visit them after the show. You have plenty of time. Sound good? All right. That's my soapbox moment. And now I'm done with that. The Reach Your Peak Library, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That is a website, again, I had built with you in mind. And I'm not kidding when I say all these things. And why did I have this done is because me personally, I was not an avid reader myself until the age of 47. And it's been now about 11 years. Everyone's doing the math. They got it. And I have no problem with it. And what I found once I started reading, finally at the age of 47, oh my gosh, this stuff is life changing. If you don't just read it, but you also put into action those things that you're ready for. So I put this together. There's no rhyme, no reason to the order. You'll see a lot of Grant Cardone all bundled together because I happen to read all of his books all in the same time or sequentially. They're just in here kind of in the order I read them, but just pick one that really resonates with you that you have not read yet. Read the description. You don't have to buy it on this website. These buttons go straight to Amazon. It's not here for me to make money. I mean, come on. Have you ever made a commission from Amazon off of a book? You know, it's cents, not dollars. And so it's not here for a money-making thing. Just get it. Get the book, read it, and then put it into action, those actionable steps that you read. And not every book I've ever read is in here. These are actually books that I personally read, and only those that I personally read. And not all of them are here. It's only those that had a profound effect or impact on me, either in business or my personal life, or even both. Speaking of having a profound impact, you guessed it. It's going to be time to bring on our guest expert, Maurine Xavier. She's coming on right now. Let's get it going.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is the one. It is the only Maurine Xavier. They're dancing in the streets. I love it. How are you doing tonight, Maurine?
I am great, Brian. I'm so happy to be with you.
Oh, goodness sakes. So we got to get to know each other a little bit before the show came on. I'm excited because you are an amazing woman. You're doing amazing things, and we're going to elicit all that wonderfulness from you as the show goes on. Right before we do that, though, I do have a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. If that's okay with you, Maureen, I want to give our sponsor a shout out, those kind of things. So right over Maureen's wonderful left shoulder, you can see, and that's on the right side of your screen. If you're watching live, hint, hint, wink, wink, themindbodybusinessshow.com. Go register if you're not watching live. Right over there, you see the big Insider Secrets, that red and white stamp looking cool logo thing. They have sponsored this very show and give me the ability to offer you a chance to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And there are many to choose from all over the world. You want to stay on here. You must be watching live, and I will reveal the information that will get you the ability to enter to win. And you just do this after the show's over. There's no massive rush, but you must be watching live, and I'll know. So you don't want to miss that. And then a couple more, and then we'll get moving with the amazing Maureen. So if you're struggling with putting together your own live show and you don't want to put all the tech time to learn the tech and all of the communication that goes on before bringing on a guest and picking a guest, and there are so many moving parts that people just don't realize that have not yet done one, then you want to head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com and write that down, carpetbombmarketing.com, because with that, you can saturate the marketplace with your message. It's the very system we utilize for this show. It's one I've developed myself personally. And I'm telling you, it is a godsend, and it helps you to produce and put on a professional live, not just a show, but a full-blown production, pre-show, during show, and post-show, along with marketing juice. I'm going to use that word a lot, I know, but there's a lot of it. It's awesome. And one of the key components in Carpet Bomb Marketing System is a resource that we use, and we're using it right now. And it's the very studio software we use. It's called StreamYard, and you can really bring in the greatest quality. I've used so many of these studio software solutions, and I'm a software engineer going back by trade. And so I'm very picky. I've used many of these different solutions. I'm telling you, StreamYard is the best of the best. It provides supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. You can start streaming absolutely for free right now after you write this down and then visit it after the show. So write down this URL. It's ryp.im/streamlive altogether, ryp.im/streamlive. And you can literally take it for a test drive and do it for free and determine if this is something you want to make your go-to studio solution. I recommend it. I vet it, and I use it. And speaking of vetting people, let's bring back the amazing Maurine Xavier. Yes, there she is. Ooh, that was magical. So I'm going to introduce you, Maureen, in a way that is respectful, a way that you deserve, and then we're going to get right into the fun. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All
absolutely.
Right. Maurine Xavier is a recovering CPA. I love that part. Who also has 3 decades of training and experience in transformational leadership, spiritual mentorship, and channeling divine guidance. Ooh. Maurine is a breakthrough mentor and international best-selling co-author who supports trailblazing women to feel lighter, clear, more confident, and effortlessly attract their ideal clients and cash flow. Who doesn't want that? Come on, come on. I mean, good grief. That is amazing. With that, officially and formally, welcome to the show, Maurine Xavier. I'm so happy and blessed to have you here.
Thank you so much.
It's going to be such a blast. What I like to start off with, Maureen, is, you're a successful woman. You've figured a lot of stuff out. It takes a lot to get to where you are. You've been through the ups, the downs, a lot of downs, I'm sure, because being an entrepreneur, people think, oh, you plug into some automated system, or you join a network marketing company and you clone yourself and you just become successful, and it's so easy. Nothing could be farther from the truth. It is one of the most challenging professions, if you want to call entrepreneurship a profession, that you could possibly choose. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. One of my mentors, Dr. David Kelminster, talked about it being a spiritual journey. Entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey.
I can relate with that. Truly. I mean, yeah, definitely. Goodness sakes, that was well stated by your mentor and then now by you. What I like to find out, Maureen, because as part of the show, Mind, Body, Business, mind is in my humble opinion, it is the cornerstone, the foundation of our level of either success or lack thereof. And what I like to say is where we are today, each of us individually, me included, is 100% due to what's going on in our own mind, between our own ears, and it has nothing to do with outside forces or anything going on out there, because we can do so much with this brain and decide on how to react to circumstances that are better for us. So for you, Maureen, when you get up in the morning and you know that the whole day ahead of you is there, and there are often arduous tasks that we know we need to get done that day, things that we're not looking forward to, but we know that doing them with all we have is just going to make us more successful. But for you, when you're getting up in the morning and you're about to start your day, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you powering through every day, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, knowing what this journey is like? What is that going, what for you, what's going on in that beautiful brain of yours?
Well, the biggest thing for me actually is learning to know that and believe and have faith in and live that I am beyond my mind, so that I have my mind instead of my mind having me. So when I'm
Ooh.
getting out in the bed, yeah, that's a biggie. So that I have my mind instead of my mind having me. Because your mind, it does what it does. It's trained the way it's trained. It's programmed the way it's programmed by, our ancestors, by our family, by our teachers, by our university, by our television, by our media. And sometimes we don't even realize that the way we're thinking isn't even our thinking to begin with. So that's been my number one tool for success, is transforming my relationship with my mind. And that's what I support others to do. So that when the day, appears arduous, when it appears like we have to power through, that we can have a new relationship with it, and we can honor, sometimes actually I'm one of the things I'm most proud of is the relationship I have with my virtual assistant, and that I've developed with her over the last 4 years, is my commitment to the world and to myself is to live in the flow. And sometimes it's better off not to do that arduous thing and try to power through. It's better to put it down and let it be and come back to it the next day or the next day after that, when it can be 5 minutes and done. And over the time we've worked together, now she can actually say, oh my God, yeah, Maureen, yeah, I just knew it wasn't ready for me to do it today or yesterday. And then when I got up this morning, it just poured right out of me and it was done in 10 minutes. And this is a woman, she didn't have the spiritual training that I did, but it's been a process of working together, what I'm being, talking about what we talk about, me showing her how I do work and how I don't do work. And now she's more in tune with her intuition.
Well, how beautiful, because just by sheer example, she's learning from you. That's phenomenal. And that, my gosh, what a lesson inherent in that already is. Everyone watching and listening that has their own business, who wants their own business, is don't ever ask someone to do something that you already haven't mastered yourself, or you would yourself not consider doing. Mm-hmm. And here Maureen is the example of exactly what she teaches and preaches. Not only does she talk about it, but she actually implements and does it. And there's so few of you on this planet, Maureen. I'm more and more, I'm seeing more as I interview people, but there are not enough. There are so many fake it till you make it, which, if you're just starting out, I get it. There is a little bit of degree of that must be employed for you to finally break through, in my opinion. It's not fun to get through that stage. I didn't like it myself. But when you are really true and authentic with yourself, you'll be like Maureen, and you'll just do exactly what you have proven to work for yourself and for your clients and others. And that's what I love about what you just said there. Oh, goodness. Lori Ann Hood, all the way from South Carolina. I say all the way because we're both in California. So fantastic. She loves bookmark sessions here. Okay, awesome. Welcome to the show, Lori Ann Hood. Who else? I see we have other people on. I know you're out there. Come on. Talk to us. Leave your comments. Give us some questions for Maureen. So you at some point decided to start this business that you have going on.
Mhm.
What was it? I mean, see, we all go through these journeys. We go through all these ebbs and flows and valleys and peaks, and we finally come out and say, this is what I want to do. So for you, what actually ignited that spark in you to say you wanted to start this business venture and or make significant changes to it? What was it for you?
So this business venture was really spawned, well, my soul journey. Like my soul, if you were to look at the numerology of my name, it's about the name I was born with, it's about freedom. And I was introduced to network marketing back in 2007. I put the product in my body. It brought me to life. I started going to meetings, and I wanted to help people become physically, financially, and emotionally free. And I have been an accountant like I'm 60 years old. Over 3 decades of my life, or maybe even 4, was CPA, financial, a controller, a mortgages person, but I was never passionate about it. So I wanted to help people become physically, financially, and emotionally free. I was like, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to have a team. I'm going to change the world. I shoved stuff down everybody's throat. And I learned and I learned and I learned, and I failed financially. I'd spent more money than I had made. And I took a step back after my children were raised, and I went back to accounting. And honestly, my life force started to go away. I actually got suicidal for a period of time. Wow. Because I was not honoring my joy. I was not honoring my passion. I had one foot on the dock and one foot on the boat, one foot on the dock, holding on tightly to security, and the other foot on the boat, wanting to fly. Oh, and it was after I finally had to come to Jesus with myself and chose to put both feet on the boat. I went through a radical spiritual awakening. I had been in transformational leadership, mentorship, one-on-one in groups and in teams with, again, my teacher, Dr. David Kamnitzer, for 6 years at that point in time. And after a radical spiritual awakening, I'd spent a decade learning what works and what doesn't work. And I basically showed up at a business academy, and I said, God, I don't know exactly what I'm here to do. Show me. And I knew, with my channeling and my experience and my commitment to what works, I showed up and I started supporting women who are here to be, who are trailblazers, who are committed to their passions, who are committed to making a difference to the world, and who have blocks. We all have blocks. Whether we don't always know where they come from. When you introduce me, I do channel guidance. So comes through me. Where are your blocks? Is it in this lifetime at 3 months old? Is it 3 lifetimes ago? And, for viewers out there that think it's weird, that's just the way it is. That's the way I roll. Is it 3 lifetimes ago, that decision you made, money was bad or evil, or you had to give yourself away in order to avoid being killed? And so that's what I do. It's from my own personal experience, walking my walk, talking my talk, knowing what works and what doesn't work, my own ongoing journey, that I'm here to support others to live the passionate, productive, powerful, and profitable life that they're here to live.
Is that amazing or what? I'm talking to the audience. Is that amazing? I mean, what a wonderful, phenomenal story. And I will interject, there is no freaking way you are 60. No way. No way.
That's nice of you. Yep, I am.
And I'm being honest, no, I never would have thought that. So I'm supposed to be the senior member here. Not that has anything to do with ego or anything. It's just I just usually am. I feel like I'm usually the senior guy person on the show. But yeah, honestly, there's no way. Anyway, you've done well. You've done very well in taking care of yourself. That's obvious. And I think that's part of the fact is because you figured out how to get your life force back. Yep. And I could so relate with a lot of what you were saying because being an employee myself, I went through that as well. I mean, I hated what I did. I hated going in. I hated drudging, getting my butt up and driving in and then coming home and being tired and nothing left except for the weekend. I despised it. And I knew something wasn't right. So I can really relate to that. And here's the thing, I'm not saying anything negative toward either network marketing because I brought that up earlier, not at all. or working a full-time job or even a part-time job. Nothing at all negative. It's just, what is it that makes you in general happy? What makes you happy? What drives you? What gives you that? I love how you said that, life force. What gives you that motivation to keep going every day? And if you don't feel it, then perhaps it's time to start searching. And you can, I've tried different things. I've tried different businesses until I got to the one I'm doing now. I thought I was actually pretty happy and fulfilled. And then I realized, wow, I wasn't anywhere close to it. But now I am. I'm like, oh, I'm loving what I get to do. This is freaking awesome. And this is part of it. This is not my business, this show, but it is an integral part of it in a different way. And so this is one thing I love doing, is interviewing amazing people like Maurine Xavier. My goodness, 60, my rear end, no way. That's phenomenal. And thank you for being vulnerable and letting everybody know about everything. That analogy with the dock and the boat, that's perfect. That's just perfect. That was sweet. Excellent. I have not heard that from anyone else before. That was really neat. So, okay, I love this, that you have a network marketing background. Now, look, you went through the mistakes. That's what we all do.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of people think that, and I was one of them, that you had to be perfect and never make mistakes, and that's how you became successful. And isn't it interesting that the reality is it's the exact opposite? It's make a ton of mistakes, not on purpose, but if you're not putting yourself out there and open to make mistakes, you're not going to grow and move forward. Make the mistake, learn from it, alter your course, and move on. And you went through that yourself, as one example, with network marketing. I did the same thing. I was in network marketing. In fact, I co-owned one of those companies for a while. And that was also turned out to be a mistake, but nothing against network marketing. I mean it, nothing. It's just, it wasn't for me. But that's a great lesson in its own right. And that is to fail and fail often and fail fast and get over it and past it and learn and move on. What is your philosophy and thoughts behind that?
I agree. And I would add to the recovering CPA, I'm also a recovering perfectionist. So making mistakes is still one of the things I'm challenged by. I have a tendency to overdo and, try to get things exactly right to avoid the pain of either failure or making a mistake. And part of what I've learned is because what was failure to me and what was a mistake to me. So I totally agree. Making mistakes is a huge part of it. And I also have great compassion for people who avoid making mistakes like the plague.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if there's any human on the planet that hasn't been there, or many still are there. And sometimes I'll regress back to it. I've noticed, but the successful me says, snap the heck out of it. That's not going to get you anywhere.
And one of the things I would add about failure is to be really clear in what is your definition of success or failure.
Yeah.
If you're tying, my journey is about living the journey and not having our success tied to one particular picture, one particular goal, one particular outcome. That's one of the things I consider myself an expert at, is supporting women that, one woman in particular I've been dealing with is selling a house in a certain period of time. And it hasn't been working as quickly as she wanted to. It's like, okay, well, what did it represent? What was the essence of it? To get to the essence of something. And when you get to the essence of it, you may realize that you don't need to have that particular thing in order to be a success.
Exactly. And it's like stacking pebbles every day. Give yourself the I can't think of the right word, the permission to give yourself micro successes all day long. If you have a to-do list and you're knocking out things on that to-do list, every one of those is a success that you finish. Mm-hmm. And those that you don't finish, it's not a failure. It's just it hasn't been done yet. Or there's another term or phrase I hear often, and I love it, is there is no such thing as failure, only feedback.
I love that.
Yeah. So that gives you, I love feedback. Oh my gosh, I ask for it. And it's not always pain-free. But the thing is, I love this phrase. I used to follow bodybuilders. I used to lift weights a lot. And one of the phrases always there on the big posters on the walls in the gym was, no pain, no gain. It's actually true. One must go and experience some pain to punch through. I have not seen anyone other than those who might win the lottery, but then they seem to self-sabotage and spend it all or throw it all away. If you don't go through some pain, and I don't mean it has to be literal physical pain, but if you don't go through some struggles, some learning, some feedback, some moments, some setbacks, then man, it's going to be tough. So get out there and make it happen. Oh, we got a couple more comments. Sue Allen, so proud of you, Maurine. I never tire of hearing about your journey and watching how far you've come. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, we have a question coming in, and this is great. You talked about with me earlier, and we'll get into this in more detail. This person must know you as well. Kathy Bibby, does that name ring a bell?
Yep, she did.
All
yes,
right.
I know her.
Okay. So you mentioned that you work one-on-one and you work with groups, and we'll get into that in deeper detail here in a moment. But she asked a great question. She says, what was or is your number one challenge working with groups? This is a really good question, actually.
It is because of the type of the work I do, and it can be so deep. The biggest challenge of working with groups is the confidence of holding a container of work with deep work with people in a way that's going to service everyone. And my own, and again, my comfort level, my growth, my sweet spot is another one of my habits is that I needed to make everyone happy. So at some level, I had avoided doing groups because it's who's going to be mad at me, who's going to work for, who's going to get triggered, who am I going to tick off? So for me, it's been letting go of the prospect or possibility or responsibility that's my job to make anyone happy at all. So now that I'm really more confident that it really isn't my job to make anyone happy, it's actually impossible to make anyone happy. And people's happiness is their own responsibility. It's more comfortable for me to hold a space for people, and just let chips fall where they may. Let me see what else our biggest number. Oh, I already talked about my number one challenge, so I've answered the question.
Yeah, and it's so true. I found this kind of by just happenstance that I used to talk one-on-one with people, and then I would talk one-on-one with the next person, and then I realized, oh my gosh, what I was just talking to with the person before, you could have really benefited from. So I need to do this as a group from now on. And it turned out to be more beneficial than not, even though the appearance might be that they're not paying attention. Maybe it's a Zoom call and you can see them looking around or not paying attention, but they're getting it. And most of them are getting something from it. If it's anything of value, even if you are concentrating on one person at that moment in the group. And so I found that oftentimes, oh my gosh, how many times I've taught in, after the seminar's over and we do have an advanced class and you're up in front teaching in front of a group, and you see one person staring out the window. I'm like, he's not taking notes. He's not nodding. He's not lit. What is going on? It turned out that was his mode of learning. He was like a sponge ingesting everything. And I was like, and we found this out through Q&A. And so like, oh, he was paying attention. I never called him out. Didn't say, hey, pay attention, like the teacher would do. So it's interesting. It's so fun to go through those experiences to learn how people operate, so that what you just said was like right on, is perfect, because I think there isn't a person that's ever been in a group situation that's leading the group hasn't thought or felt that same exact experience you just talked about. And so it was powerful that you brought it up and explained it. And just for those of you out there, yeah, you can impact more people in a group setting for sure. And just know that you don't have to, you just said it, Maurine, you can't please everybody. You won't. It's not going to happen. It's okay. You're doing the best you can, and when you're working with each individual, you're providing value. How many times I have listened to that, and I'm thinking, that, man, I wish someone else would get a turn, and then I go, hey, that was a good point, and I'd write it down just at that moment. So there's always something to be learned. Have an open mind if you're in a group setting, and just let it. You said something about there was something that you brought up about people, how they react to things. About your mind. It was about your mind being what'd you say? You say, I have my mind. Oh yeah. I have my mind instead of my mind having me. That was it. That was perfect. I had a mentor that used to say, you can either let your circumstances control your attitude, or you can let your attitude dictate your circumstances. And that's what I love. It's all about choice. We all, to a person, get to choose how we react to every situation. Look, we're all going to have them, aren't we, Maureen? Do you think tomorrow it's going to be perfect, clear sailing from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed? I mean, everything's going to be perfect. It never is it?
No. And one thing I would say about that, though, because I deal with it myself and I really deal with it with other people, is one of the most frustrating things is to have all the intentions in the world of choosing differently next time, behaving differently next time. I'm not going to do this the same way again, and try and try and try and try. It doesn't work for them. So that's one of the reasons why the work I do is really helpful, is because we get to the root of the being on the hamster wheel, so that you understand what is the belief that's buried inside of you that became the way you are, the root of your being, that you can see it, you can look at it, you can understand it, you can transform your relationship with it, so you no longer are living in the automatic response of that belief is who I am and that's real and I'm doing the best I can to defend it because I think it's who I am, instead of, oh, I have a hidden belief I didn't even know about. Wow. There's actually space, because that's what I help people do, have more space. There's space to see it as a belief now instead of something to fight against.
Now, for some of you, that was undoubtedly a bomb dropping moment right there. Yes. Smart bombs, bombs of wisdom, knowledge bombs. That's what Maurine Xavier is all about. We have more comments flying through. I so love this. Prince Ayu, I love this young man. I met him in person. Gosh, it's been close to 10 years ago. Hi, Brother Brian. Great to experience your aliveness again. Shine on. But I love this one even more. He says, thank you, Maureen, for telling my story without knowing me. Best wishes in all that you do.
Oh.
So just by coming on this show, this is another great example. Just by Maureen coming on this show and sharing her brilliance, she is having a positive impact on someone she's never met because she showed up. And that's a testimony to you, Maureen, for doing this, for coming on shows like this. It takes time. It takes effort. You had to get ready. As a woman, I know it takes longer usually. I mean, I now put on makeup now and then. I do, actually. No kidding. And I'm proud of it. So I appreciate that you came on, and because you're showing up, you're impacting lives in a positive way. And I always look at it as, my gosh, do I have to change someone's life completely and wholeheartedly in one snap of the finger? Well, no, you can plant little seeds though. Like if you go up to the counter at Starbucks and you see someone there in that state, they're working hard. My God, they work hard. They're fast. They're moving. And they're in this state of ick, kind of like you were describing with the boat and the dock situation there on the dock and trying to break free. But you just look at their name tag and say hi to them and say, I just, whatever comes to mind, and say, man, you are working so fantastically fast. I appreciate what you do. And they just get radiant. And if that's all it takes to change their state and make their day just a little bit better, then I'm in. And that's the beautiful thing that you're doing right now, Maureen. You're not doing that little thing. You're doing a big thing by being here tonight. And so I really, really appreciate that. Let's see. Lorianne Hood was talking about so people who pay attention. I had someone in high school who slept through every class and was the only person with an A in the class. Wow.
That's a good one. Wow.
If you can figure out how that works, Lorianne, if you can figure out how you can actually sleep and still excel and find a way to do that, I'm in. Let's make a business. We could sell a lot.
That's great.
It is. All right. So you're in business. We're going to talk about your business here in a moment. And what I wanted to do is actually, let's do that first. Let's talk about your business if you're okay with that. I know that, it's a stretch. I don't want to talk about my own business. Totally. Yeah. What I want to find out so that others can know where all of this is coming from and what you do and what you're passionate about. A few things like, what is your target market? Who are the kind of people you are looking for to help and serve? And is it women? Is it men? Is it both? Is it corporations? Is it individuals? Is it family? Those kind of things. And then explain, if you could, what you do for them in your own words. And then if you have a success story or two, then please also share that as well. If you're okay with that, I'll bring up your website so you can just fire away.
Sure, absolutely. So my target market is women who are mission driven, who are trailblazers, who are passionate, and who are purpose driven. And for some reason, they may be dealing with self-doubt, or they may have confidence that comes and goes, or they may be afraid to live in the flow because at some level they're weighed down by worries about money, or they're literally just stuck in some pattern that they don't know how to get out of. And what I help them do is I help them feel lighter. Like that is the most common thing women say after a meeting with me, is like it literally, they felt like there was more more weighing them down until afterwards, because we remove blocks. I help them have more clarity and or be comfortable not having clarity, because sometimes this journey is about not having it all figured out, about not having all the answers right away or ahead of time, and about being willing and comfortable to live in the lack of clarity. I help them start naturally attracting their perfect match clients. You know, instead of it being about hard work, the playing the numbers game, if you will. I'm not about not playing the numbers, but what I am about is radiating and being so clear in who you are here to serve, and open to receiving, and open to being in service, and open to making more money, that they just by showing up and being who they are, they naturally start attracting their right client. And then also steady cash flow, or being comfortable when it's not steady cash flow. So women, I think in general, making a little bit of a generalization here, but it's harder for women to receive. We've got a thing about give, 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 give. So I support women to be more comfortable receiving. And then when they open up their receiving channel, then there's a place for the money to come to drop into them and go into their bank account. So long story short, now more confidence, more clarity, more of a steady stream of cash flow, and naturally and authentically attract their right clients and or partners and or speaking situations. That's what I help women do.
Wonderful. I love it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And so, well, here it is. We just saw it. Let's connect. So we're not done with the show, but this just happened to come up on the screen naturally. So would this be a primary way for folks to get in touch with you, or do you have another way that you would rather they go reach out to you first?
Well, there's a couple that is a way to reach out to me first. Actually, what that does is that ends up delivering an email to my inbox where we can reach out. Also on my website, this is me being a little bit like duh. That actually, when it goes next, you can actually go in and schedule a 30-minute Zoom Connect appointment with me. So from there, it takes you to my calendar. You can pick a time in my calendar to meet with me one-on-one.
Okay.
Also on there, though, is it okay for me to keep going on?
Yes. Yes.
So under the services box, there at the tab at the top, there's workshop. So if you scroll back up to the top, services, there's workshop and events.
Gotcha.
Workshops and events and workshops. There's a community that meets monthly that is free, that is called the Love Train. And that is my offer to anyone here that already, we already connect, we already vibing, you'd like to get to know me more and be part of a community. There's one tomorrow at noon, that's short notice, and anyone is welcome to attend. And then the next one is November 15th at noon as well. You click on that and you sign up, and then you come and show up and be part of the community. And we have intentions, and we have meditations, we have guidance, and we have writing. And again, women come in with their stuff. We all have stuff. We show up to be supported and to be in community, and like, okay, I want to take this stuff out of my backpack and put it on the ground and flush it off on the stream. They leave feeling that way. They feel like they've gotten the weight off of their back, and they can go forward in life being more available to what they would like to be living.
Fantastic. All right. So
here I am all by myself. I don't know where he went. You know what? It is possible, although I don't know that that's highly probable, that Brian Kelly went away because his power went off.
Oh my goodness, we're having so much fun here, I tell you. Okay, yes, we are still broadcasting that is appearing. That's fantastic. Wow. This has been a strange day. Let's see. Let's try this again. Okay. I'm going to bring that back. So I wanted to kind of recap what you said there for folks that are watching or listening on, and we're having gremlins now on podcasts only. And what I wanted to do is bring up your website. Let's see if I can get this to work this time. Nope, that is not it. All right. So what you want to first go to is MaurineXavier.com. And that is spelled MaurineXavier.com. And what you want to do is scroll down to the bottom, and there is an area there where you can contact her. It's a contact form. And that is what she was describing just a moment ago for those of you listening that aren't watching this on video form. And then secondly, she has a gift to give away to you, and that is at MaurineXavier.com, as spelled earlier, /events. And the events is all lowercase, and that those events are valued at $99. So you can go in, get experience it for free, but know that she could easily charge $99 for that very same thing, probably more. Most of us undervalue our own good stuff, and getting to know her, like we are all getting to know her now, I bet you can agree with that as well. Boy, I hope my system doesn't do anything else tonight. This is crazy. Having some fun here. I don't know what happened. That was unbelievable. But I found a way to come back. Oh, now I see what's going on with the share. Okay, we're going to come back here. Just a moment. All right, one moment. Hang with us. Technology today, isn't it wonderful? There we are. There's the website I was looking for. So that is the MaurineXavier.com that you'll see, and you scroll to the bottom. For those of you watching, you now know. And you scroll near the bottom, there is that form I was discussing just a moment ago. And to go to register for that event for free, valued at $99. That is what it will look like when you get there, for those of you watching. And that again is MaurineXavier.com /events. And again, it's valued at $99. Thank you so much for that. I normally give away those gifts at the end, and this is fantastic. People get to come away with something before we even finish. And don't go anywhere. We have so much more to cover. I know. I'm looking at the clock. We just lost a minute there, so we're going to go over a minute now because I messed up something somewhere, somehow, some way. I mean, let's test something real quick and cross our fingers. Yes. All right. Oh, almost worked. Having too much fun here now. So some things are working, something broke, but we'll take care of it. We'll get it all figured out. So this is, I'm enjoying this very much, talking to you, Maurine. Technical issues mean nothing. It's for those of you that may not know, this is kind of a fun aside. The internet went out citywide where I live an hour before she and I were to get on with each other on StreamYard here. And I just said, then I got a notice from the company said it will be 2 hours. Like, no, that's not going to work. So I called Maurine up and said, just a heads up, but I'm still going forward as if this is going to be okay. So far, it's been almost okay. We got about 95% of everything going just perfect, but we made it. The show is going on, and that is what we want. So in network marketing, Maurine, one of the things I noticed that is inherently taught, not like in your face most of the time. Some of the time they do train this, but inherently to those kind of businesses, they train it as if you're not going to have to do much and your success will come very quickly. And that, basically most of them that I was ever involved in, except for the one that I co-owned, I must say, they would all preach, basically is recruit people like yourself. In other words, clone yourself. And then they will go out and do the same thing. And that's impossible to do, number one. But that led to the mindset of, oh, it's going to be easy. All I have to do is bring in other people. They'll do all the work, and I'll just sit back. Well, if you're thinking that and you're bringing on yourself, they're going to do the same thing and nothing's going to go anywhere, which is often what would happen. So the opposite, though, for entrepreneurs who break out and do their own business and those who are successful in network marketing, they have figured out the secret to really achieving long-term success, not that short-term quick kill, recruit somebody, get a little check, maybe go on stage and get a t-shirt because you were a good recruiter, but you didn't maybe nurture your people well enough. For you, now that you've been through life, through business, you've experienced so much, what has worked for you the best to achieve what I would call long-term success for yourself and your business?
It's what I'm being. I'm literally living my soul's purpose right now. And so my this is another, I noticed on your bookmarks, you have the why, start with why from Simon Sinek. There's another book he has called The Infinite Game. That's more, it's corporate focused. It's got a lot of wonderful information. And about what I'm playing is an infinite game. Like I've come to, again, one of my teachers, Dr. David Kamnister, I am an infinite being having a human experience. So I am playing, the game I am playing is an infinite game. And the reason why I'm doing this isn't to get anywhere. Like I'm not trying to get anywhere. Sometimes it may feel, I'm human, I'm learning, I'm looking at how much I used to push and force more than I do now. But it's really about being of service. It's about sharing what I know so I can pay it forward. So I'd say that's the thing. It's the secret for me is that I'm playing an infinite game. I'm not playing to any particular amount of money, to any particular feeling, to any particular number of clients. I'm not playing till I, retire, I'm playing because it's what I'm here to do. And in the process of doing it, I become more enlivened and alive.
I love that. I love that. Goodness sakes, we're still going through that fun. So that's the beautiful thing. It's about living her soul's purpose. So this is something I love bringing up and talking about, especially with people like you who have been down the path, who are not just talking the talk, but you have walked the walk and you continue to do so. And that is, there's this topic that is highly debated often, and it's all surrounding the word passion. And some will go to the mat and say, it doesn't matter if you're passionate about what you do. Others will go to the mat and say, yes, it does matter if you're passionate about what you do. In order for you to achieve success is the outcome that you're both looking for in both cases. For you, what is yours? And I think we all know what that is. And more importantly, why?
My passion is living transformation, being in transformation, like living transformation is my passion. And the why I am is because I've lived on the other side. I was depressed. I was in therapy for 15 years before I met my transformational teacher. I dealt with anxiety and, ADHD and depression and addictions du jour. And so I was looking, I can remember at the age of 11, probably just wanted to be happy. So I'm trying to remember what I'm answering here. So I would say my passion is living transformation, because now I am being in a way that I no longer, I am the eternal growing being. I enjoy what I discover. I enjoy expanding in who I am. And in the act of my being that way myself, I naturally exude that out to the world. So back to what I said before, I'm not looking to any particular fix in order to keep doing what I'm doing.
I love that. Yeah. And that's what I found to be the case is if I don't truly love what I'm doing and I'm not happy about what I'm doing, then it's going to be much harder to achieve success. I think it's a human nature thing where how much effort are you going to put into something if you don't love it versus something that you truly love? And how much longer are you willing to give it a go? How much thicker skin can you develop if it's something you truly love? And you won't give up too soon, which I think is one of the reasons so many people, especially I was the same way in network marketing, it was that shiny object syndrome. Well, I've been in this company now 3 months and I haven't gone anywhere. And I see my leader bolting for another company. I'm going to follow them to that one. Maybe it'll work better there. Well, the passion, now looking back, for me was never there. It was all about making money. And that's not how I'm wired. I'm not wired just to make money for myself. If I'm making money, I want to be doing so by serving someone else and giving them something that can take them to the next level in their life, in their business. For me, it's never been about just self-fulfillment. I want money so I can go get stuff. And I didn't know this going through all this, right? So some of this takes experience, a journey, or some of it can take just connecting with someone named Maurine Xavier, who can then get you to that point faster, painlessly, so that you can now live your fullest life with full passion, and everything that you see that she's talking about. I mean, who would rather live the way Maurine does and be happy about what they're doing than struggle and have all these blocks and things that are holding them back? Contact Maurine, get in touch with her, and be respectful of her time and listen to her. She's been down the path. She knows what she's doing. She's successful at it. I'm not here to pitch her. It's just coming out naturally because these are the kind of people I have on this show. Maurine, you're just another gem amongst gosh, I have a pile of them, and you're the next one that I'm putting on the top. And I appreciate you for coming on and doing all this. I'm not saying goodbye yet, but my gosh, I just look at the clock. We have to do that pretty soon, I guess. I'm gonna cry. So we did talk about, we brushed on this topic of failures. I like to call them setbacks, things like that. But to help others to be okay with having things that don't go perfect, if you could think of one that you learn from. I mean, there's always that. It must be something you learn from, otherwise it's not worthy of going through these times. If you can think of one of your failures or setbacks, and one that what you learn from it, one that really sticks out that would be impactful for those and helpful, what would that be?
I would say my relationship with network marketing. It was a perfect example. I did it and I was a mom full time. They talk about, is it a hobby or is it a business? I was a little bit of both. I'm acknowledging at some level I was looking for excuses to not pick up the phone and call more. So, and what I learned from it was I look back as my the reason why I did network marketing was because I wanted to support people to become physically, financially, and emotionally free. So what I've looked at it now 10 years is the thread of what I was there to do has never changed. It's just it wasn't the vehicle for me. It was a training ground. It was wonderful. I learned a lot. I going from accounting, going from mortgages to talking to people about how to do nutritional cleanses was a stretch, so it was like this, putting my ego at some level on the side, listening to people who told me, you're crazy. What are you doing? And then, they got to be right. And I got to learn about all the things they were right about later. But it was the thread of, I learned from the journey. I needed to pay my dues. I needed to learn what I needed to learn in that part of the journey. And if my gauge was making money, I failed there, but I succeeded in the big picture.
And that's all you can do, right? I mean, every step, and this is one of those examples of making many mistakes as fast as you can, not know. I mean, your intentions were all good, and yeah. Everyone's usually are. They want to just advance themselves, for their family. You're a mom and everything that was going on. I mean, come on. It's always about improving oneself or one's family. And it's wonderful that you can look back on that journey and look at that as a learning experience that got you to where you are now. And that's why it's actually no pain, no gain is a good thing. It's a good thing, is to go through these corrections, these times of corrections, to get you, if you're going to fly in an airplane from, say, California to Florida, and when you first start out, you're flying over the ocean going to the west. You're not even going in the right direction. But you have to correct it. You have to turn and correct. And then as you're flying toward Florida, wind and other patterns and things where you're allowed to fly change. And you're not always heading straight at the target, but you're always making course corrections along the line until ultimately you do arrive at that destination. And life, isn't it just very similar to that, Maurine?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the journey of life, is learning. Showing up, seeing what's here, being clearer and clearer and clearer about what resonates. This is my path, and my passion is being clearer and clearer and clear about what resonates with your joy, because that is where I am. That's your sweet spot. The experience of ecstasy, your soul's talking to you. That's why I went from, accounting to channeling. I mean, trust me, when I was like doing accounting, I was doing contract CFO and accounting work, and I went to a women's spiritual group, and then I was invited to learn how to channel. And for people that may not know what channeling is, that's opening my consciousness and having divine guides speak through me, sometimes in different voices and different tongues. So when I was doing that, and I was invited to channel, and I was ecstatic. It was the okay, your soul's telling you something here, but I did not tell my husband where I was going that weekend because I was sure he was going to, check me into the loony bin, But it was my willingness to follow my joy, willingness to take action where your joy is, and to trust that there's more there than you realize.
And taking action can be one of those things people are just absolutely afraid of. And that's it. When you have that feeling, that's when you know it's the right thing to do. And it's just getting over it and breaking through it. All right. We've gone over a little bit already, but that's okay. I'm not paying for studio time, and we did have a brief outage there. What I wanted to do is let you know that I like to end every show with a very profound question, Maurine. And don't worry, it won't hurt at all. It's pain-free. I just found it to be profound after asking it somewhat at random over the course of now over 3 years of doing this show. I started now asking it at the end of every show, just because it had that kind of impact. It's an amazing question. Before I do that, I did promise everyone that stayed on with us live, I didn't forget, that you will get the opportunity to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Once again, compliments of our sponsors, the Big Insider Secrets. That's Jason Nass, my good buddy. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Remember, write it down, visit it once the show is over. We're like a couple minutes out. All right. So here it is. I'll put it up on the screen. Write this down, ryp.im/vacation. You definitely want to enter this to win, because, oh my gosh, the destinations are unbelievable. They're worldwide, and they are not like where you're going to be taken down, sequestered down to the basement, strapped into a chair, have water drip torture, and then have to sit in on a timeshare presentation. That is not what this is. And I know that for a fact because the very sponsor, the owner of the company, the very sponsor for this show, Jason Est, has utilized this very giveaway himself no less than 3 times, not just 1, but 3. And he vouches and says it's just like you're another guest, and you just didn't have to pay for your room and board while you were there at a resort, all inclusive. Unbelievable. So you want to enter ryp.im/vacation. And then we're going to come back to the amazing Maurine Xavier and ask that unbelievably wonderful question. So here's the thing with this question, Maurine. There is no such thing as a wrong answer. It flat out doesn't exist. In fact, the exact opposite is the case. The only correct answer is yours, because it's going to be unique to you. And that includes whether it takes you 30 seconds to come up with an answer or a fraction of a second. It doesn't matter, because it's perfect. It's unique to you. It is 100% correct. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Any curiosity about it yet?
Total curiosity. I'm there, like, I noticed myself stop breathing. It's like, okay, keep breathing, Maureen.
I love it.
I'm afraid of having a wrong answer.
Oh no, yeah, and it truly is. You'll nail it. I think you touched on it earlier, so we'll be all right. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Maurine Xavier, how do you define success?
I define success by whether you are enlivened by what you're doing, whether it resonates deeply with your joy, and whether you're willing to keep doing it, whether you're paid or not. And success lies for me in the realm of what you're being, because we are human beings 24/7. And when we connect to who we truly are, which is for me an infinite being having a human experience, an out-breath of God or source or universe, whatever you want to do it. When we're so connected to that, we are experiencing peace, joy, possibility all the time, whether we're doing anything or not. That's my definition of success.
Maurine Xavier, ladies and gentlemen, she is amazing. And we appreciate you for coming on to this show and exuding incredible experience, wisdom, and value for our audience, especially me, I get to enjoy it all the most. I just love what I get to do. And I just want to say thank you to everyone else who came on here to enjoy Maurine with us, alongside her, and interact and engage. And again, if you didn't see this live, if you're watching this or listening to this as a recording, I would highly recommend you head on over to the mindbodybusinessshow.com and click on, there's a lot of buttons there. They all go to the same place, and they just go straight to the registration form where you can just simply sign up to receive notifications. That's all we send to let you know when the next live show is airing, complete with a link. All you have to do is click the link and you'll be on it with no issues whatsoever. Maurine Xavier, thank you once again. You've been an absolute pleasure to talk to tonight. And I'm just so appreciative. Thank you so very, very much.
And thank you. This whole experience was an utter pleasure. And thank you for who you are and the service you provide to us and to your viewers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. On behalf of the amazing Maurine Xavier, I'm your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. Until we come back again live very, very soon next week, everyone be blessed. Go out there and crush it and serve others and have an amazing, amazing rest of your evening. Until then, we will see you again. So long for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.